Hi there, it's Lisa. Today I'm doing a page to try to do one as quickly as possible. This is a challenge from Load, and I've been expecting this challenge to come down. I am not a fast scrapper, so I had to kind of think about this a little bit ahead of time, and I've had this layout idea going around in my head for a few days, and I think this was a perfect time to use it. I spent 5 minutes gathering my basic supplies, everything but embellishments. I'm going to be using a stencil. This is 50s Clock from Crafter's Workshop, and I've got 3 different mists that I picked out to go with my photo. The photo is me. It looks like I'm playing with magazines or books or something. What's important to me, though, is that the TV is in this, because that has to do with the story that I'm going to be telling. I went ahead and also I typed out my journaling. I took a little time to do that. In addition to the mists, I've got some washi tapes that match those and the photos. This little piece of flair has to do with my title, so I have some lettering here for the title. And when I got to the embellishments, that's where I was stumped. And I spent another 5 minutes going through my embellishment drawers, kind of scratching my head, and I know that's an area where I need to add some more things, but I just don't do a lot of children's pages, children's themed kind of pages, especially very young children. But I did remember that I got in a stamp set recently as part of Blog Candy, and it has a couple of baby kind of things oriented in it. Now I probably have some other stamp sets that have some other things, but I resisted the urge to go dig through all my stamps. So I'm going to use these and make those work for my embellishments. I'm quite sure that I can tell the story with those. So what I've got here is a clock. It's over here to the side. I'm going to pull the clock out in a moment and hold the clock up to the camera, and that will start my timer as to how long it takes to actually create the page. And so we'll see the amount of time. So we're starting here at 9:07. Move a few things out of the way and start doing some misting. Going with the Cameo mist first. And I had my heat gun plugged up. That was part of my gathering supplies. That worked out well. And I have some clay colored mist from Studio Calico next. And I'm heating these to keep down the bleeding that occurs when you put one mist over another. And at this point, I dropped my stencil on top of my my misted area, and it's probably a really good thing you're not hearing the original sound that went, voices that went with this video, but I'm going to go with it. I think it'll work out. So I've got some washi tape here, and my first piece goes on a little crooked, and I went ahead and left it, and I'm just going to try to do a better job on the rest of them, and I do. They go better after this. I just have a hard time getting washi on straight. I had a hard time getting some of these started. Now later on you'll see a sketch for this, and it doesn't have the washi wrapping around. That was my original plan, was not to do that. It was just to have a strip go down to the start of the next strip. But to save time, I had them wrap around the corner, and I really liked it. I liked the look of it down there at that final corner. You'll see a close-up of this at the end of the video. There's several colors that were in the photo and match the misting, which is dry now. So I can start to lay out my title and my journaling. My intention was to put that journaling then on top of the mess I made with the mist, but I don't think it's going to work that far down. Now here's something I normally spend a lot of time on, and that's lining up letters. And I use a ruler and I fuss with them. Today they're just going on there. I'm just using my eyes to do the best job I can. Adding some dimensional adhesive. And one of the things I realized in doing this is how much I reach for those adhesives, and I keep putting them back up instead of leaving them out, and that maybe isn't the best way to do things, the most efficient way. I wrote down the words that I'm going to be spelling. I have a good thick or full sticker sheet, and that really helps this too. The story here is about when I was a child, or my mother used Captain Kangaroo to keep me occupied while she fed me. She said many times that she didn't know what she would have ever done without Captain Kangaroo to keep me occupied for a while in the morning so she could feed me and get other things done. And I normally use hot glue on the back of Flair, but I just went with dimensional adhesive. And we're at 9:16. I've got a little more to do here, some embellishments. I'm taking my stamps And I'm just checking this. I checked it twice to make sure that it was good and straight and was going to line up good. I might have worked a little harder to get that further down, just the perfect position if I'd had more time. The little teddy bear I did not like stamped on the background, so I'm going to stamp him on a separate piece of paper. And another thing I realized is that my punches were way on the other side of the room, and so I don't use them as much as I might ordinarily. I use some Creative Memories cutters, and that worked okay for getting it the right size. I've got markers at hand, though, and it doesn't take me long to pull out markers and do some coloring. I did end up with a different color there than I expected, but again, we're going with it. At this point, it's on the page, so it really wouldn't matter how much time that I had. I just might have checked the colors ahead of time more. But in the end, it really doesn't make that much difference. So I'm going to add some dimensional adhesive to this little guy, and we're done. And we're at 9:20. So it took 10 minutes to gather the supplies, a little time to do the journaling, and 13 minutes to complete the page. So about 25 minutes for the page, and I am happy with how it came out. So here's the finished page. We'll look at some close-ups in a moment. I really like how the misting came out. It's not that noticeable to me looking at it here on the screen that things are perfectly straight. I guess that doesn't matter as much as I always thought. The washi tape laying over top of each other, I really like that. That came out better than I would have ever expected. And the misting came out good despite my little mistake there. I would have put a mat behind the little teddy bear thing if I'd had a little more time, but still, I'm quite tickled with the layout. And here's the sketch for it. You can find this sketch on my blog, as well as a PDF of all of last year's sketches available for sale. So please visit me at lisae-design.blogspot.com, and thank you so much for watching today, as I attempted to do a page a little faster than normal. It was fun.